let me talk to you real quick about something small, something very small. A seed. And that seed must be planted into the earth. And when it gets planted into the earth, then it becomes this great big tree. It's pretty crazy. With good soil, with a watering, and with sun, and grows into a tree. Cool lesson. No, you're not hearing me. In order for this to change, we had to break ground first. And once we broke ground, we needed to be placed. We needed to be put where we belong. And the seed does not belong outside, but it belongs inside. It needs to be a part of the earth. And in order to be placed there, it needs to be willing to change from one location to a different location. But once it's placed and once it's planted, when you become planted into something, you become a part of something. You need to join something outside that's more than just you. It's more than just a seed. You need to join and be a part of something else. And when you become a part of something else, you must be buried. And when you become buried, this is where the change starts to take place. The change starts to happen when it's buried. And when you're buried, it becomes dark. That seed is alone. And there's a lot of us out there that are alone and we feel buried, but you haven't been buried, you've been planted. And when you're planted and you start to grow, what the first thing happens is that seed becomes broken. And when it becomes broken, it starts to break free. And when it breaks free of itself, the inside starts to come out and it starts to root. And when it starts to root, the roots start to grow left. It starts to grow right. It starts to grow down. And then it grows up. You have to be able to grow in all directions before you can even grow up. We can't skip a process. The seed doesn't sprout up, because if it starts to sprout up or out this way, it becomes weak. The only way this becomes strong is if it starts to grow in all directions, left, right, down, and then it actually starts to grow up. And when it grows up to be this, it starts to produce. It starts to be fruitful. See, in the seed, it has always been or had the potential to be here. I need you to be what has always been inside of you. What has always been in that seed. This seed has always been an apple tree, but it had to get buried. It has to get planted. It's got to break free. It needs to get rooted. It needs to grow so it can produce. You've always been this. But you're over here alone. What's your next step? Remember, you need good soil. You need water. You need the sun. No, I didn't spell that wrong.